Greetings, BookTube. Welcome back to the History Shelf. I am your host, Peg. Happy Saturday to all of you. Hope you're enjoying a nice weekend so far. I'm very excited to tell you I will be posting, and Bill Rutenberg and I will both be posting part one of our book chat covering the recent Alan C. Gelso biography of Robert E. Lee, A Life. We just filmed that earlier this afternoon. We had a wonderful discussion. Had to break it up into three parts. Zoom kind of did that for me. I don't know why, but we're going to be bringing it to you in three pieces. So look for that sometime on Monday. It was a great discussion. And now I'm making a video of a pile of new releases or books that are coming. New arrivals, soon to arrive, that kind of groovy stuff. A lot of things coming in from publishers for the summer, and stuff on the horizon for early fall. So what do we have coming? What's new? What's new, and what is about to be new, and what will Peg be reading very soon? Let's start with. All right, let's start with history. We're going to start with history because it's the History Shelf. I'll save some of the fiction for later. All right, this book is coming from Bloomsbury, the good folks at Bloomsbury Academic, I believe. And this will be coming out in September, so fall. This is an advanced review copy that I was able to get. They wanted to send it to me, and I said, by all means. This is Giles Tremlett's España, A Brief History of Spain. This will be perfect. As you know, that I have been reading more about the Spanish Civil War, but this is just an entire history of Spain, a brief history of Spain, but still, anything that kind of goes into that country, I'm just fascinated, learning more about Spain and its history. Okay, so España by Giles Tremlett, or Giles, I should say. Giles. It's Giles. I grew up on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I should know this. It's Giles. Jeez. Okay. So España, what do we have to say here? It's an accessible, sweeping primer, or primer, whatever you prefer, of Spain from best-selling historian and journalist Giles Tremlett. In España, Giles Tremlett takes us from his prehistoric times to today, exploring the mythology, religious clashes, political turmoil, and search for a national identity that have forged modern Spain to create an essential, accessible guide to understanding the country today. Let me see if I can find something here that, it's just been, he's been blurbed to the kingdom coming back. This is fantastic. Knows a lot about Spanish Civil War. He's written, I might have to look at his other books then. What do we have here? Let's see. So Spain's location on Europe's southwestern corner, has long exposed the country to cultural, political, and literal winds blowing from all quadrants throughout the country's ancient history. Africa lies only 9 miles to the south across the Strait of Gibraltar, a place with deep connections to Spanish mythology, as Hercules is believed to have created the waterway by pushing a pair of mountains aside, connecting the Mediterranean to the Atlantic. And of course, the Mediterranean connected Spain to civilizations such as the Phoenicians, Romans, Carthaginians, Byzantines, Visigoths, as well as the Arabic lands in the Middle East. And then all swept onto the Iberian Peninsula, influencing the land and culture before it grew into a global superpower. I mean, it just talks about how important Spain is, right? Oh, this is interesting. Listen to this. So Spain was made by generations worth of changing peoples, worshiping Christian, Jewish, and Muslim gods over time. The foundation of its story has been drawn and debated, celebrated, and reproached. Whenever it has tried to deny its heterogeneity and create a pure national identity, the narrative has proved impossible to maintain. So here's the interesting little factoid. Spain's national anthem, in fact, is one of the few without lyrics, as Spaniards struggle to form a collective national story about themselves to tell the world. I did not know that. Did you guys know that? Anyway, it says here, Giles Tremlett, he has lived in and written about Spain for more than 30 years. So this is going to be a fantastic read. This is coming out in September, as I said. So not too massive. Ooh, and this is, this is fantastic. This is a wonderfully illustrated book. It goes to show you that you can make a history that doesn't have to be dry and so text heavy that no one will approach it. I mean, look, this is an advanced review copy, and I'm already getting glossy. Look at these photographs, four color artwork on the inside. Okay. So I mean, it's again a brief history, but it doesn't skimp on illustrations, slave ships there, requisite bullfighting, the matador, with that. And this is just an advanced review copy. I can only imagine what the final copy is going to look like, and I wonder if all of it will be in full color. So anyway, keep that on your radar for España. All right. All right, 6 minutes. Well, we got a lot to work through, guys. So this is from Oxford University Press. As you know, I am very, very a big fan of university presses. Oxford is up there, I'm telling you. And now this I wanted to see because it's a new edition. I think I might have read the older edition. So I wanted to see the up. Well, my piece of paper just somehow hit a button on my keyboard, which automatically makes this thing pause, and I can't stand it. Can't even breathe on the keyboard, and it pauses the video. Okay, so always been fascinated reading about Al-Qaeda, Taliban, just their origins, where they're going. They've been quiet for a long time, but not recently. They've actually been working back into the picture, and so I've really been wanting to get a newer, updated version of this book, and was able to get a copy of this from Oxford. This is The Taliban at War, 2001 to 2021, new edition by Antonio Giustozzi. So it says here, how does the Taliban wage war? Let me get this up here for you guys. And you see this? How has its war changed over time? I think that's something this is going to tackle. Firstly, the movement's extraordinary military operation relies on financial backing. As we know, the volume analyzes such funding. Their external sources of support include like foreign governments, non-state groups, and both of which have affected their military campaigns and internal politics. But what about this book? What about this new version here? Well, this is the first full-length study of the Taliban to acknowledge and discuss in detail the movement's polycentric character. Okay. Listen to this. Here, not only the Quetta Shura, but also the Haqqani network and the Taliban's other centers of power are afforded the attention they deserve. So the Taliban at War is based on extensive field research. I'm reading from the pub sheet here, including, of course, hundreds of interviews with the Taliban members themselves, obviously, at all levels. Community elders in Taliban-controlled areas, giving you like on the ground, experience and what they've witnessed. It covers the Taliban insurgency from its first manifestations in 2002 up to the end of 2015. And this is the new updated edition. This is why I really wanted to get my hands on this, because there have been developments since 2015, obviously. This expands it to cover the insurgency through 2021. The 5-month Battle of Kunduz epitomized the ongoing transition of the Taliban from an insurgent group to a more conventional military force intent on fighting a protracted civil war. Antonio Giustozzi, he's a renowned Afghanistan expert. He rounds off his 20 years of studying the Taliban with this authoritative volume, detailing the evolution of its formidable military machine. Okay, so this is out right now. This new updated version came out on May 1st. So it's been out just over a month. So I'm really looking forward to seeing the updates and how he's what his analysis of that will be. All right, guys. Let's see what else we got next. Oh, I did get a final copy of this. So I do have an advanced review copy of this if anyone's interested. And I do apologize. I haven't had a chance to go to the post office. I know that I have mentioned a few books, and a few of you have said, yeah, I'd be happy to take that one. So I know that that's on my to-do list, you guys. I haven't forgotten. I'm so sorry. But I'll add this to the list if someone else would like the advanced review copy of this, because now I have a finished copy, which is fantastic. So you've seen this before if you watch my videos, sorry, of new releases. This is the final, finished copy of We Refuse to Forget, a true story of Black Creek's American Identity and Power by Caleb Gale. And this is put out by Riverhead Books. So this is the the hardcover. I have it in as it's a softcover arc that I have. All right, you know what? I'm gonna cough again, so let me just pause this. Okay, thank you. I just needed to get a drink. So, in case you don't remember from the last time I read about this book, it tells the story of the Creek Nation, a native tribe that 2 centuries ago both owned slaves and accepted black people as full citizens. Thanks to the efforts of Creek leaders like Cow Tom, a black Creek citizen who rose to become chief, the U.S. government recognized Creek citizenship in 1866 for its black members. Yet this equality was shredded in the 1970s when tribal leaders revoked the citizenship of black Creeks, even those who could trace their history back generations, even to Cow Tom himself. In this provocative examination of racial and ethnic identity, Gale explores why this happened, how the U.S. government was involved, and what Cow Tom's descendants and other Black Creeks are doing today to regain their citizenship. Wow. It's an eye-opening account that challenges our preconceptions of identity as it shines new light on the long shadows of white supremacy and marginalization that continue to hamper progress for Black Americans. So fantastic. I got the finished copy. If you're interested in this story, which sounds very unusual. Hello, Henry. I apologize profusely. Another of my videos I was editing started playing. I was trying to upload my my latest book chat video. So sorry about that. That kind of scared me. If you are interested in a review copy, an advanced review copy, otherwise known as an uncorrected proof of We Refuse to Forget, please let me know. But it sounds like a very, I've never heard of this story, so this is like new history, history you've never heard of, and that's always fantastic. All right, and this next book, again, someone reached out and said, would you be interested in this? I said, I absolutely would. I'm interested in the history of the Vietnam War, the politics behind it, the machinations. The Fog of War is one of my favorite documentaries. Kind of covers Robert McNamara. And this is written by his son, and this is coming out. Oh, no, it's not. Oh, it's out right now. It came out May 10th, you guys, from Little Brown Publishers. This is Because Our Fathers Lied, a memoir of truth and family from Vietnam to today by Craig McNamara. Okay, so don't think they didn't provide a pub sheet, but I have it right here in the back. So it's an unforgettable father and son story that confronts the legacy of the Vietnam War across 2 generations. Craig McNamara came of age during the political tumult and upheaval of the late 60s. I know it's tumult, but whatever. While he would grow up to take part in anti-war demonstrations, his father, Robert McNamara, served as John F. Kennedy's Secretary of Defense and was the architect of the Vietnam War. This searching and revealing memoir offers an intimate picture of one father and son at pivotal periods in American history. Because Our Fathers Lied is more than a family story, it is a story about America. Before Robert McNamara joined Kennedy's cabinet, he was an executive who helped turn around the Ford Motor Company. Known for his tremendous competence and professionalism, McNamara came to symbolize the best and the brightest. Craig, his youngest child and only son, struggled in his father's shadow. When he ultimately failed his draft board physical, Craig decided to travel by motorcycle across Central and South America, learning more about the art of agriculture and the pleasures of making what he defines as an honest living. By the book's conclusion, Craig McNamara is farming walnuts in Northern California and coming to terms with his father's legacy. So this book tells the story of the war from the perspective of a single, unforgettable American family. All right, so that's going to be interesting. Definitely going to be a powerful father-son kind of type of memoir, and this is not the final picture. It's got the FPO, but still, sorry. Again, I was able to get an advanced review copy, but the final copy's already out, so maybe I can get my hands on that too. But I'm looking forward to reading this, and this will just further enhance my studies on the Vietnam War. Oh yes, now you got you guys. You want to talk about a peg book? I probably should save this. I probably should save these two for a video coming soon on some fantastic new Princeton University press releases. Again, one of my favorite university presses. But I have to share these now because one of them I'm going to be starting like tomorrow. I think I need to finish one more book tonight, and then I'm going to start this tomorrow. It's already out. If you love religious history, as I do, especially like the history of the church, any studies in Christianity, things like this. And the only volume that you have on this subject is the, why am I thinking Marty? No. Oh my God, the priest, the Irish priest, the hostage to the devil. Oh, what was that guy's name? Hold, please. Hostage to the Devil. Remember that book about the exorcists? Why can I not? This is what happens when you get old, folks. It is Martin. Yeah, hang on. Martin Malachi. How could I forget? Malachi Martin. The famous, I think he was an Irish Catholic priest. He's dead now, but let me get back to my camera. There we go. I have a one volume history on this topic by Malachi Martin, but this is brand new. It's brand new history. Beautiful. You guys are gonna love this. Are you ready for this? The Jesuits: A History by Marcus Friedrich, and this is a naked hardcover. Look at this. Are you seeing this right now? I know I'm seeing it. Look at this beautiful spine. Princeton, you just keep blowing my socks off. I'm not gonna lie. I've actually been reading a lot of getting back into my theology reading, systematic theologies, dogmatics, just things like this. And I've actually thought about maybe doing a second channel, just for, because not everyone is, I get lower views on my religious books when I haul them. But I just want to do stuff where I'm just talking about, I love reading about church history, theology. This stuff just lights me up inside, and I'm really just been keen on it the last couple months, and just excited to dive deeper. But I cannot wait to start this one, The Jesuits: A History by Marcus Friedrich. So what are we looking at here? This says this is the most comprehensive and up-to-date exploration of one of the most important religious orders in the modern world. Since its founding by Ignatius of Loyola in 1540, the Society of Jesus, more commonly known as the Jesuits, has played a critical role in the events of modern history. From the Counter-Reformation to the ascent of Francis I as the first Jesuit pope, the Jesuits presents an intimate look at one of the most important religious orders not only in the Catholic Church, but also the world. Friedrich describes an organization that has deftly walked a tightrope between sacred and secular involvement and experienced difficulties during changing times, all while shaping cultural developments from pastoral care and spirituality to art, education, and science. Examining the Jesuits in the context of social, cultural, and world history, Friedrich sheds light on how the order shaped the culture of the Counter-Reformation and participated in the establishment of European empires, including missionary activity throughout Asia and in many parts of Africa in the 16th and 17th centuries. He also explores the place of Jesuits in the New World and addresses the issue of Jesuit slaveholders. Let's see. The Jesuits often tangled with the Roman Curia and the Pope, resulting in their suppression in 1773. But the order returned in 1814 to rise again to a powerful position of influence. Friedrich demonstrates that the Jesuit fathers were not a monolithic group, and he considers the distinctive spiritual legacy inherited by Pope Francis. So this is definitely, well, I think the other one also had a global scope, but it says here, with its global scope and a meticulous attention to archival sources and previous scholarship, the Jesuits illustrates the heterogeneous, varied, and contradictory perspectives of this famed religious organization. And this is just the most beautiful thing I've seen in a long time. The book is about 850 pages long. That includes all the, that just includes all the notes and index and bibliography. But is this not beautiful? It's out right now. So keep an eye out. I've heard some inside information that there could be a Princeton University Press sale coming up later this month. So you never know. You might be able to score that for a song. All right, so another Princeton University Press brand new book out. Also sounds very exciting to me because it's not just straight economics, which I struggle with sometimes, and I've been trying to read it and understand it better, but I love it when it's kind of cut with history and culture and that kind of stuff. So this is Adam Smith, Reconsidered, History, Liberty, and the Foundations of Modern Politics by Paul Sagar. There goes the camera again. I know I have a fan out there. Apparently someone loves it. They just laugh riotously when my camera starts to become possessed like that. I need Malachi Martin up in here to make sure that my camera is not hostage to the devil. So this is Princeton Press, Paul Sagar, out right now. And so what does this cover here? Let's talk about it. Adam Smith has long been recognized as the father of modern economics. More recently, I know who that's going to piss off. Andrew B. I know it's it. I'm reading it. Okay. So I'm not making this up out of whole cloth. You might have to take it up with the person who wrote this. Okay. So not me. It's the person who wrote this says Adam Smith has long been recognized as the father of modern economics. More recently, scholars have emphasized his standing as a moral philosopher, one who was prepared to critique markets as well as to praise them. But Smith's contributions to political theory are still underappreciated and relatively neglected. In this bold revisionary book, Paul Sagar argues that not only have the fundamentals of Smith's political thought been widely misunderstood, but that once we understand them correctly, our estimations of Smith as economist and as moral philosopher must radically change. Okay, so how? Let's see. Rather than seeing Smith either as the prophet of the free market or as a moralist who thought the dangers of commerce lay primarily in the corrupting effects of trade, Sagar shows why Smith is more thoroughly a political thinker who made major contributions to the history of political thought. Smith, Sagar argues, saw war, not commerce, as the engine of political change, and he was centrally concerned with the political, not moral, dimensions of, and threats to, commercial societies. In this light, the true contours and power of Smith's foundational contributions to Western political thought emerge as never before. All right, so this book is slightly over 200 pages, but it's offering a major reinterpretation of Smith's political, moral, and economic ideas. And it seeks to revolutionize how he is understood. Well, hence the name, Reconsidered. And it sounds very intriguing to me. So, yep. All right, so there you have it from Princeton. And more Princeton books are coming. Coming very soon. I expect some in the mail probably next week. All right, so what else do we have here? Okay, well, I have already read this book and reviewed it for Washington Independent Review of Books, but I was able to procure the finished copy. I love the book so much, I read it in an advanced review copy on corrected proof. Just loved it. You know, check out I'll try to remember to link my written review below in the description box, but this is my, this is going up. I have every other one of his books, so you know I had to have a finished copy of this. It's the great ancient history historian and writer Barry Strauss. And this is the war that made the Roman Empire. Antony, Cleopatra, and Octavian at Actium. I know I've talked about it before on this channel, or at least showed you that I was reading it for review. So now I have the finished copy. I'm not going to read the description because the title says it all. But see, now I have, see, the ARC didn't have the, at least I get the artwork in here, and not the artwork, but the photographs and some artwork, but you kind of miss out on that when you're reading from an uncorrected proof. Oh, look at that! They even have a little plug in the back for all of his other books, and they're amazing. I highly recommend Barry Strauss if you are kind of just wanting to get your feet wet with Roman history. He is fantastic. I just enjoy reading him, and this was a great read. Check out my link below. I go into some detail there. It's a longer review, so it gives you more detail. All right, so what are we doing here? Next book, U.S. Naval Institute Press. Brand new book out. It is a nice, beautiful book it's a naked hardcover. This is called Commanding Petty Despots, the American Navy in the New Republic by Thomas Shepard. As you can see, this no jacket, it's just naked, but beautiful. So what can I tell you about it? Commanding Petty Despots tells the story of the creation of the American Navy. Rather than focus on the well-known frigate duels and fleet engagements, Thomas Shepard looks at civilian control of the military and how this concept evolved in the early American Republic. For naval officers passionate about honor and reputation, being willing to put themselves in harm's way was never a problem, but they were far less enthusiastic about taking orders from a civilian Secretary of the Navy. First Secretary of the Navy Benjamin Stoddert tolerated insubordination from spirited officers who secured respect for the American Republic from European powers. By the end of the War of 1812, however, the culture of the Navy's officer corps had grown considerably when it came to civil-military strains. A new generation of naval officers, far more attuned to duty and subordination, had risen to prominence, and Stoddart's successors increasingly demanded recognition of civilian supremacy from the officer corps. Oh, fantastic. So Thomas Shepard, yeah, he's an assistant professor of military history at the Marine Corps University Command and Staff College at Quantico. Oh, yeah, his work has appeared in the Journal of Military History, and I am a member, and I received that journal. It's fantastic. And Strategic Studies Quarterly. So just another wonderful, just kind of, keyhole history here by Naval Institute Press. They go into, take a topic and just kind of really go into great detail. So yeah, the tensions between military and the civilian control of the military, that's occurred off many times throughout history. I mean, they've always kind of butted heads, but that's what makes America, well, and just democracies in general that are kind of set up that way, unique. So great, inserts and talking about the American Navy. I love it. Speaking of the American Navy, you guys, I'm very, very excited to have a copy of this. This man unfortunately just passed away, this historian. And I believe I have his other book, The Fleet at Flood Tide. I think I have it, and if I don't, I will be getting it very soon. But this is James D. Hornfisher, and he did pass away. I'm trying to remember it was a couple weeks ago, I think, a few weeks ago. His brand new book, though, came out, Who Can Hold the Sea, the U.S. Navy in the Cold War, 1945 to 1960. What a beautiful cover. Look at that submarine. James D. Hornfisher, gone too soon. It's put out by Bantam Books. It's already been blurbed. I've been reading about it elsewhere. People are just loving it. And gone too soon. There's James D. Hornfisher. Gosh darn it. Oh, it says right there. Oh, I thought it was a few weeks ago. He died in 2021. Oh, I know why. I'm sorry. A friend of mine posted because the book is just coming out now. Okay. And they were, yes, and they were doing like an in memoriam. I didn't realize he had died last year. I'm really sorry to hear that still, but yes, but the book just came out, so I'm seeing a lot of remembrances posted and things like that. So sorry to get that mixed up. But James D. Hornfisher, let's see what this one is about here. I think we know, but let me read a little bit to you. A landmark account of the U.S. Navy in the Cold War, Who Can Hold the Sea, combines narrative history with scenes of stirring adventure on and under the high seas. In 1945, at the end of World War II, the victorious Navy sends its sailors home and decommissions most of its warships. But this peaceful interlude is short-lived as Stalin, America's former ally, makes aggressive moves in Europe and the Far East. Winston Churchill crystallizes the growing communist threat by declaring the existence of the Iron Curtain, and the Truman I'm really sorry. And the Truman Doctrine is set up to contain communism by establishing U.S. military bases throughout the world. So, Who Can Hold the Sea? It paints the dramatic rise of the Navy's crucial post-war role in a series of exciting episodes, including the controversial tests of the A-bombs that were dropped on warships at Bikini Island, the invention of sonar and the developing science of undersea warfare, the Navy's leading part in key battles of the Korean War, the dramatic sinking of the submarine USS Kuchino in the Norwegian Sea, the invention of the nuclear submarine and the dangerous first-ever cruise of the USS Nautilus under the North Pole, and the growth of the modern Navy with technological breakthroughs such as massive aircraft carriers and cruisers fitted with surface-to-air missiles. Oh, yes. As in all of James D. Hornfisher's works, the events unfold in riveting detail. The story of the first part of the Cold War as portrayed in Who Can Hold the Sea is ultimately the story of America's relentless endeavor to protect the free world. All right. Nice, big, juicy work. I'm sorry that he wasn't here to see it come out. But it's going to be a wonderful read, and I'm very happy to add this to my, World War II, Cold War, just my naval studies that I've just got tons of books on naval warfare and such. And then this book I will be reviewing in the future. I need to start reading it today, actually. Okay, I'll give myself a break. I'll enjoy my Saturday evening. Well, I'm going to enjoy it anyway, but I got to finish up a couple of other things first. I'll be starting this tomorrow. This is the next book that I'll be reviewing for Washington Independent Review of Books, where I wrote a review for this. And this is interesting. This is, I had an advanced review copy sent, but I also just got sent the final copy, which is great. So I can read the final copy. But this is, Oh Say Can You Hear? A cultural biography of the Star-Spangled Banner. Isn't that interesting? By Mark Clegg. This is coming out from Norton, W.W. Norton. Now that I have the finished copy, hang on, let me just grab the ARC real quick. So as you can see, I've got a soft cover, uncorrected proof. This will tell me what day it's... Okay, so it's coming out this month, but it doesn't say what day. But by the time you see this video, it might already be out. Here, I'll hold this up, and then I'll just kind of read to you briefly. So most Americans know the tale, right? In 1814, Francis Scott Key witnessed the British bombardment of Fort McHenry and the heroism of America's defenders. Seeing the American flag still flying at first light inspired him to pen his famous lyric. What Americans don't know is how a topical broadside ballad rose to become the nation's anthem and today's magnet for controversy. Okay, see, I didn't know there was any controversy about our national anthem. Am I not paying attention to the news or what? I don't know. Is there a controversy? Let's find out. In Oh Say Can You Hear, Mark Clegg brilliantly weaves together the stories of the song and nation it represents. The book examines the origins of both words and music, alternate lyrics and translations, and the song's use in sports at times of war and for political protest. It shows how the song's meaning reflects and is reflected by the nation's quest to become a more perfect union. From victory song to hymn of sacrifice and object of protest, the story of Key's song is the story of America itself. So, one moment. Okay, so that looks like a pretty awesome history roundup. I have some fiction to show you as well, some advanced review copies. I think one of them might already be out. No, I was wrong. So Oh Say Can You Hear? Should have a review written for that in the next few weeks. And oh yeah, I want to say shout out to Simon & Schuster for sending me a gratis copy for writing that review for Barry Strauss's new book. I'm so happy to have the finished copy. So let's start with the book that I am also commissioned to review for Book Browse Review. I've been writing for them for several years now. Big, awesome thriller, political thriller. Oh, do I have a pub sheet for this? Well, it's in the inside of the book. But anyway, this comes out, well, when does this come out? It comes out this month. My review is due on the 28th, but this comes out on June 14th. So about 11 days from now, 10 days from now. This is The Recruit by Alan Drew. So I was able to get an advanced review copy. That's how when I'm reviewing books for writing, for publications, sometimes I just can't get a galley. But I was able to get a galley from Random House, so I was really happy. So what is The Recruit about? I shall tell you. Rancho Santa Elena in 1987 seems like the ideal Southern California paradise. That is, until a series of strange crimes threatens to unravel the town's social fabric. Migrant workers attacked with mysterious weapons. A wealthy real estate developer found dead in the pool of his beachside house. The only clues are poison and red threads found at both crime scenes. As Detective Benjamin Wade and his girlfriend, forensic expert Natasha Betancourt, struggle to connect the incidents, they begin to wonder, why Santa Elena and why now? Soon, Ben zeroes in on a vicious gang of youths involved in the local white power movement as the most likely perpetrators. As he uncovers Santa Elena's seedy underbelly, Ben discovers that the group is linked to a much wider terror network, one that's using a new technology called the Internet to spread their ideology. Remember, this is set in 1987, so the Internet was still very, very, very new. So they're using it to spread their ideology, plan their attacks, and lure vulnerable young men into doing their bidding. Ben closes in on identifying the gang's latest target, hoping that the new recruit will lead him to the mastermind behind all of this. But as he digs deeper in an ever-widening investigation, Ben is forced to confront uncomfortable truths about himself and his beloved community, where corruption is ignored and prejudice is wielded against his fellow citizens without fear of reprisal. The Recruit follows one man's descent into the darkness lurking just beneath the respectable veneer of modern life. Sometimes it's not so respectable. All right, so The Recruit by Alan Drew, coming out June 14th. My review will be coming out probably in the first week of July for Book Browse Review. You know I like a good thriller. That's why I also review fiction. Gotta mix it up, you know. Let's see. So this book is coming out. Okay, we have two books that are coming out. One in August, one in September. Let's start with the one that comes out in August. Again, I enjoy mysteries, thrillers, detective stuff, crime thrillers, stuff like this. This is from the good folks at Soho Crime that were kind enough to send me an advanced review copy. copy edited edition. It's called Shudder by Ramona Emerson. Soho Crime. Okay. Not out until August. And it says here, equal parts gripping crime thriller and haunting coming-of-age story. This riveting, it's a debut novel. This riveting debut offers a scintillating atmospheric portrayal of life inside and on the borders of the Navajo Nation. So that hits all my bases right there. I love reading about not only historical, but contemporary issues for Native Americans in our country. And of course, I enjoy a good crime thriller, any type of thriller. I've covered a lot of different books that touch on Native American history and just ongoing events. Like Yellowbird was a fantastic book I read about 3 years ago. It was one of my first nonfiction reviews, I think, for Book Pros. It's fantastic. Anyway, this one says here, Rita Todachin is a forensic photographer working for the Albuquerque police force. Her excellent photography skills have cracked many cases. She is almost supernaturally good at capturing details. In fact, Rita has been hiding a secret. She sees the ghosts of crime victims who point her toward the clues that other investigators overlook. So there's like an element of supernatural going on here. But the cost of this connection is high. As a lone portal back to the living for traumatized spirits, Rita is terrorized by nagging ghosts who won't let her sleep and who sabotage her personal life. Her taboo and psychologically harrowing ability was what drove her away from her hometown on the Navajo reservation, where she was raised by her grandmother. It has isolated her from friends and gotten her in trouble with the law. And now it might be what gets her killed. When Rita is sent to photograph the scene of a supposed suicide on a highway overpass, the furious, discombobulated ghost of the victim, who insists she was murdered, latches onto Rita, forcing her on a quest for revenge against her killers. And Rita finds herself in the crosshairs of one of Albuquerque's most dangerous cartels. Doesn't it sound great? So a debut novel. Ask your library to have it in when it comes out. I'm always about supporting new writers, especially in this kind of genre. It sounds fantastic. Shudder by Ramona Emerson. It's a picture of our author. Shudder is her first novel. Very excited. Comes out in August. I will have read it by then. And now this book is coming out in September. September 20th. All right. This is called The Complicities by Stacy D'Erasmo. This is put out by Algonquin Press. I think they reached out to me in an email, and I said I would love to take a look. So what can we expect from The Complicities? After her husband Alan's decades of financial fraud are exposed, Suzanne's wealthy, comfortable life shatters. Alan goes to prison. Suzanne files for divorce, decamps to a barely middle-class Massachusetts beach town, and begins to create a new life and identity. Ignoring a steady stream of calls from Norfolk State Prison, she tries to cleanse herself of all connections to her ex-husband. She tells herself that he, not she, committed the crimes. Then Alan is released early, and the many people whose lives he ruined demand restitution. But when Suzanne finds herself awestruck at a major whale stranding, she makes an apparently high-minded decision that ripples with devastating effect, not only through Alan's life as he tries to rebuild, but also through the lives of Suzanne and Alan's son, Alan's new wife, his estranged mother, and ultimately Suzanne herself. When damage is done, who pays? Who loses? Who is responsible? With biting wisdom, The Complicities examines the ways in which the stories we tell ourselves, that we didn't know, that we weren't there, that it wasn't our fault, are also finally stories of our own deep complicity. And there you have it. It sounded interesting to me. So just the whole premise, and then the whole whale thing too. I was like, how's that gonna, the whale stranding? I was like, how's that gonna impact this story? So it's just intriguing. So this comes out in September by Algonquin Books. Okay, guys, so I think that's a fairly long enough video for you. We're fixing to get a storm here. Got some storm clouds moving in. I had to pause the video because I needed to roll the lawnmower into the garage before it got rained on. So anyway, more than you needed to know. But anyway, well, let me know what you think of these books, these new arrivals or new releases, soon to be released, coming soon to a bookstore and library near you. In the meantime, BookTube, I hope you're having a wonderful weekend, and we will see each other soon. Count on it.